everybody, welcome back to another shave. Tonight I'm going to do something a little different. There's a lot of guys out there that seem to think that you can't get into straight razor shaving without spending a few $100s. So tonight's shave is my budget shave. Everything that I'm using tonight, total, costs less than $100 for everything that I am going to use tonight. First thing, I have two options for straight razors. My primary choice is my $26 5/8 near wedge that I picked up at a local antique store. You can find them at local antique stores, you can find them on eBay. This is my favorite razor. It's also my least expensive. My second option for a razor, which I'm not going to use tonight, but would be an option, is this WP Plato Janice 5/8 full hollow that I picked up from whipdog.com for about 40 bucks, sight unseen. I didn't know what razor I was getting, but it only cost $40. So that's the start. But since this is what I'm using, $26. I have my scuttle, $26. That's $52 so far. Those are the two highest priced items in this list of gear that I'm going to show you. For a strop, you can pick one of these boys up. This is a Mac Professional Razor Strop. You can get one of these bad boys on Amazon for about 10 bucks. It comes with this back piece that is leather, kind of. I guess it works, but this front side leather is good quality, genuine leather. It works well, strops your razor very well, give you a smooth shave. 10 bucks Amazon. The next piece of gear that I have is my Zenith boar brush, 21mm, faux tortoiseshell handle, 12 bucks. So we've got 26 plus 26 for the razor and the scuttle, that's 52. 10 for the strop, that's 62. 12 for the brush, that's 74. My soap and my splash, Italian Barber Amici soap and splash, the set costs $10. That's $84 out the door, not including shipping, but $84 out the door for my entire shave tonight. You don't have to spend a fortune to get started. Once you get into the hobby, you will of course buy more brushes, you'll buy other strops, you'll buy other soaps, you'll buy other razors, and you can do that over time. But to get into the hobby does not have to be a huge monetary investment. Just a little bit of money set aside each week, month or two. Even the poorest of us can afford 75 bucks over the course of 3 or 4 months to get started in a hobby that you're really going to enjoy. So sit back and we'll shave with this budget conscious, budget friendly, very inexpensive straight razor shave. We'll be back. Alright, so welcome back. We are ready to do our budget shave this evening. So I've been working this lather up a bit here. I do bloom my soaps. I think I mentioned that before, but this has been bloomed. Look at that lather. ItalianBarber.com. The Amici soap is 3 bucks for a 4 ounce tub. I think it's 4 ounce tub. But 3 bucks for a very, very nice soap that performs very well in my opinion. Has a wonderful citrusy grapefruit scent to it. Lots of slickness, lots of cushion. You can see, I mean, it takes water well. You can see the lather that I'm getting out of it is very acceptable. Very, very good lather, very good soap. $2.99. The brush, obviously doing its job. I don't have a website for the brush. It is the gentleman who imports them sells them off of eBay. If you do a Google search for Zenith brushes, you'll find them. They're fantastic brushes, very inexpensive. The Crown King Scuttle always performs flawlessly. 26 bucks. Crown King Shaving or PhoenixArtisanAccoutrements.com. You can get it at either place. They are affiliate companies. And my 5/8 near wedge. which, as I said, was my least expensive and happens to be my favorite blade. And just so you see, I did use my very dirty old strop. This was my first strop. It was cheap. Actually, I got it in a trade, but they are available on Amazon. Very inexpensive, which is exactly what you want for your first strop. So here we go with the first pass. I feel like I may have rolled the edge on this blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my other inexpensive blade. Now this is going to increase the cost of this shave by about $20. This blade was 40 bucks versus 26. So 15 bucks, 75 plus 15 is 90 bucks. We're still under the $100 mark. But I feel like I rolled that edge. That is not the strop of not the fault of the strop, nor the fault of the razor. That is the fault of me. That was my bad. I got excited when I started stropping it, and I blew the edge. That's my fault. You cannot blame any of the gear for that. That's on me. So let's try this again. That's cutting better. There we go. That's better. So that means I'm going to have to refresh that edge a little bit. Bring it back to shaving quality. It's not dead, but it is not ideal at this point. So I'll have to refresh it and bring it back up to my standard for shaving, because it's just not there right at the moment. And that was my fault. Again, not the fault of the razor, not the fault of the strop. That is purely and entirely my fault. Bad technique on my part, running that razor on the strop. I rolled it. I felt it when I did it. I knew I did it, and I still tried. And you see what it did? It gave me a little bit of a bugger all right there, trying to get through that hair as I was. So don't let that affect your choices, because it's not the fault of the razor or the strop. That was all on me. So now this razor that I'm using, you can get one like it for about 40 bucks, roughly 43, I think is what they are, from whippeddog.com. It will come shave ready with a very decent edge on it, which is actually a good thing for you new guys, because you don't have to worry about sending it out to get it honed or trying to hone it yourself if you pick it up in a garage sale or yard sale or antique store or something. Just go to whippedog.com, go to their sight unseen straight razors, tell them you want one. The process for Larry at Whippedog is a little different than usual. You don't actually pay with a credit card on site right there. You put the item in your cart and he'll contact you via email, and you guys can work it out from there. Very reasonable guy to deal with, very decent guy to deal with. Good communication, good quality gear, puts a decent edge on it. Couldn't ask for any more for a sub $50 razor, in my opinion. Trying to get any more than this for a sub $50 razor, you're asking for too much. So, you know, if you want to keep it on the cheap, I am with you. I'm 100% with you, but you have to be willing to accept that it's not going to be the prettiest razor. It's not going to be anything really special. It's not going to match up with a Mastro Livy or a Wade & Butcher. But it's only going to cost you 43 bucks. And if you use it and you decide that you hate straight razor shaving, you can keep it as a display piece and not be out very much. You could sell it on a forum and probably get every penny back. Or you could throw it in the trash or send it to me and still not be out that much money. It's still a very low risk investment at $43. So that is a very viable option for you budget-minded shavers, which I am. Please don't take that the wrong way. I am absolutely a budget-minded shaver. That's why I know how inexpensive these things are. That's why I have this inexpensive gear. And truth be told, you can do it for cheaper, because my first brush and my first lathering bowl and my first puck of soap, as a matter of fact, all three combined cost less than $10. Again, at Amazon.com you can get a Van der Hagen deluxe soap, bowl, and boar brush for about $10. So you can save yourself a ton of money going that route to start with. It is a hard puck soap, but it's very easy to lather. In fact, even now, with all of my gear and all of the stuff that I have, I still have and use Van der Hagen soap that I bought after I ran out of the soap that came with my kit. I also still have and use my palm bowl, which is now filled with Speak soap. But good gear, very, very inexpensive. You don't have to spend a fortune to get into this hobby. If you have a fortune, by all means, spend it. I mean, no point in going cheap if you don't have to. If you have the ability to spoil yourself and get a $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 razor, by all means, go ahead. But then again, this video isn't really for you if that's your situation. This video is for those guys that have been sitting on the fence because you thought you had to spend a small fortune to try it. You don't. You can try it very inexpensively. So if I use the Van der Hagen kit rather than my Scuttle and my Zenith brush, that would be at least 26 bucks off. You'd be back down in the $70 range. Doesn't have to be expensive. We'll be right back with lap number 2. Alright, welcome back for pass number 2. Not lap number 2, but pass number 2. Just rinsing my head off. Any of you that might be paying attention might see that I have a few reasonably fresh cuts on my head. I've been trying to master the technique of shaving the back of my head with no mirror over my last couple of shaves, which haven't been recorded because I had a feeling that I was going to cut myself, and I don't like being in pain on camera. You can get holding that mirror. I can't stretch the back of my head because I only have two hands. Obviously, one of them's holding a mirror, the other one is holding a razor. So I can't stretch the back of my head when using a mirror, which means necessarily that I can't get as clean of a shave. A good stretch is paramount to a good shave. Well, no, it's not paramount to a good shave. It's paramount to a BBS shave. I can get close without using a hand to stretch. I can get a really good DFS shave. But I've really been trying to improve my technique because that's how you improve your shaves. And so shaving without a mirror the last couple days have it's caused me a bit of trouble. It's caused some problems. So, you know, it's a learning process. As I've said often and continue to repeat, I am I'm new at this too. You're watching me learn. I've only been doing this for about 3 months now. So I'm learning. And so I have some cuts from sliding the razor, from touching it down at the wrong angle on the back of my head, getting too close before I was actually ready for the razor to touch the skin, doing one of these guys, sliding into place, and that one right there. That hurt. And I've got one that makes me look like a piggy bank right in the back of my head where I just slipped. Trying to stretch and pay attention to everything all at once, I slipped. It happens. It's a learning process. So that's why you don't see me doing that today, because I am a little sore. I do have some sensitivity on some of those cuts. So I'm trying to avoid reopening them. So I'm going with a generic shave today, which is still going to be a very clean, very close, very comfortable shave, but isn't going to involve a lot of the acrobatics that it takes to get those really good stretches. And so it's not going to be a BBS. I mean, I suppose it could happen, but it's not very likely. And I have no excuse for that one. I don't know what I just did there. But it happens. It's part of the process. I imagine one day I will have enough skills to not have stuff like that happen, but who knows? When you have a very sharp blade pressed against your skin, there's always a potential to cut the wrong thing. My guess is anybody that's interested in getting into this as a hobby is aware of that. My other guess is anybody that's actually sitting here watching some random bearded dude that they don't know shave his head with a straight razor probably gets a kick out of watching me bleed. So I guess there's a double payoff there. But yes, I am using the mirror this evening because it hurts to cut myself. And there's that big one. You can see it makes me look like a piggy bank back there. Sucks. Hurts. But it's just a cut. It ain't the first cut I've ever had on my head. Unfortunately, it probably won't be the last. And I'm not even talking about from shaving. My job is in construction, and even though I'm the office manager, I do get out in the field and I do a lot of refurbishing on old wood stoves and things like that, working with metal and plasma cutters and torches and hammers and bricks and rock and steel. You get hurt, shit happens. But these scars are definitely from shaving from the last couple days, these cuts that you can see. But it is a learning process. And you want to get better, you got to try different things. They don't always pan out to be the best thing in that moment. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop. Just long enough for the cuts to heal. Because the first time you cut it, doesn't hurt that bad. It's just a little cut. But the second time, the third time you catch it, that's when it starts to hurt. So we'll be back. Pass number 3. Here we come. Welcome back. Pass number 3. Here we go. Rinse my head. Got a pretty good shave running tonight. Did got that one little weeper over here, but looks like that thing might have even stopped already. And I don't know if I did that with I think that happened with the rolled edge on that wedge, which makes sense because I was definitely forcing the issue. I was trying to push it through, and you shouldn't do that. You definitely don't want to put any unnecessary pressure on that blade. The blade is sharp, it'll cut the hair. If you've got to press on it, it's not sharp enough. If it's tugging and pulling, it's not sharp enough. If you try to shave with it, you're either going to cause yourself a lot of irritation and still get a shitty shave, or you're going to cut yourself and still get a crappy shave. Because even though it's not sharp enough to cut hair smoothly and efficiently, it's sharp. A dull razor is still sharp. It's still sharp enough to cut your skin. It's still sharp enough to cause some serious damage if you aren't careful. So if you find yourself trying to shave and the blade is catching and skipping, stop. Stop. There's no shame in stopping and reverting to your old method of shaving rather than causing damage. So please, don't hurt yourself trying to do this. Stop. Go back to your double-edged safety razor or your single edge or your cartridge razor or whatever it is, your electric razor, whatever it is you used before you started picking up a straight razor. Go back and use it if you're not getting the results you need. And analyze why you're not getting those results without having the razor in your hand, because it's not going to end well. There's no shame in stopping. There's no shame in it. It's part of the process. And anybody that tries to shame you for it, tell them to pound sand. You don't need that kind of nonsense. Just we're all switching to these kinds of tools because they're better for us. They're healthier for our skin. They're more fun. They're more enjoyable. And they provide a better shave. If you're getting cut non-stop, you're causing damage. It's not going to help. So don't be afraid to put it on pause and revert to what you're used to. And then try again another day. You got a lifetime of shaves ahead of you. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to try and master it in one afternoon or one morning or one evening. I shave at night, but you don't have to try and master it in one try. Go slow. Be gentle. It's your skin. Be gentle. Be kind to yourself, and it'll happen. It'll come together. You will have that moment of clarity when everything comes together and you get that holy cow, this is smooth shave. You don't have to force it. You don't have to push the issue. Just keep shaving. Start off your first shave, just do the sides. If you're shaving your head, just do your sides of your cheeks. If you're shaving your face, do something that's easy, that's straight, that's flat, that doesn't have a whole lot of your regular angles to catch your edge. And then go back. Start small. It's not supposed to happen overnight. If it was a super easy task, we never would have progressed past it. We'd still be using straight razors as our only commercial option. And Clearly that's not true. So take your time, because it is a skill that you're going to need to work on and hone. Just like you would have to hone a blade, you have to hone your skills. You have to figure it out. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen just bing bang boom, put a blade to your head and you got a damn fine shave. You're going to get cut. You're going to get nicked. You're going to bleed. And eventually you're going to figure it out. It's just the way it is. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. But it is a skill. And it does require focus and attention and a lot of effort. So go slow. You gotta figure out that muscle memory. That you gotta figure out how it's gonna work. And then you've got to do it correctly, consistently enough that your muscles can remember those angles and hit them. Not just remember them, but hit them without dinging your skin every time the blade touches you, because it's not good. You don't want that. But you can develop those skills slowly. So take your time. Because I'll tell you, the reason I have this huge beard on my face, the reason that I have been bearded for the better part of 20 years, even though it's never been this big before, it's always been really close cut. But the reason is because I always hated shaving. And now I love it. I'm still not shaving my face, unless we hit that 1,000 subscriber. But it's a very relaxing and enjoyable hobby once you develop those skills to the point where you can perform the task without causing damage. Because once you can shave without causing damage, that's when they start getting comfortable. That's when they start being an enjoyable process rather than just a necessary task to accomplish. And that's the sum and substance of it. That's why I do what I do. Because it's enjoyable. Because it relaxes me. Because I get good results. Because my scalp feels better with no ingrown hair, no ingrown hair and irritation and razor bumps and all that stuff. It's a better way for me. But it didn't happen overnight. It never does. It never does. So go slow, take your time. You'll figure it out. All right, recap. For the budget shave, the individual budget conscious shave, ItalianBarber.com, $2.99 for the soap, $6.99 for the splash. It's $10 out the door. CrownKingShaving.com. See it right there. Or Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. They're sister corporations. They do work together. You can get this scuttle $26.99. Zenith 21mm board brush, $12. Can't beat it. whippeddog.com. Larry Andreessen, he'll take care of you. Sight unseen straight razor, 40 bucks. And good old Amazon. Ignore the fact that it's filthy. It's my old strop. This is the first time I've used it in a couple of weeks anyhow since I got my new one, but it's an old strop. 10 bucks at Amazon. Find it, Google it, look for it on Amazon. You'll find it. It's there. It's not bad. It will do the job. And this splash, good shape. The splash is good on a nice hot summer day like it is today because it has menthol in it. It's got a really good solid grapefruit start. The initial grapefruit start. It is alcohol based, so it will clean those nicks and cuts. It will also sting a little bit sometimes if you get a little too much irritation, but it's good stuff. You can see how much of it I've used. This is one of my favorite splashes. It's very inexpensive, but it's a very good splash. Very good finish, very good feel, very good scent. Love the grapefruit menthol. Just a really good splash at a really good price. So don't let the cost stop you, because it doesn't have to be a rich man's game. Believe me, I'm a po' boy. I am absolutely a po' boy. I work hard for every penny I have, as we all do. I can't afford to go out there spending hundreds of dollars on razors and brushes and soaps and creams and what. You don't have to. You can get a great shave with a straight for very inexpensive. Thank you for watching. Y'all be good to each other. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time.